Hello everyone, it's your lovely Abbie Dagrin and welcome back to my channel, lovelies. Today I'll be continuing a series on my channel that deals with natal chart analysis, and today I'll be doing one on Tony Bennett. He did pass away recently and I wanted to do a little analysis on him in regards to how he lived his life and how a lot of the aspects and placements in his chart has led to the success that he did have. So please stay tuned for the rest of my video, lovelies. If you have not yet become part of the Abbie Dagrin family, then this is your calling to do so. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you know when I upload videos on the daily. Please also make sure you hit that like button because I know you guys will love this video. And last but not least, please make sure you share this video with everyone you know, whether it's your friends, your family members, your enemies, anyone who really loves this content or really is a big fan of Tony Bennett. Now let's get right into the video, lovelies. Tony Bennett was born on August 3rd, 1926, so this qualifies him to be a wonderful Leo. So with this placement, he's someone who's very passionate, warm, and very bold in everything that he does. He's very intense and he loves being the center of attention, and I think it kind of came to him naturally because not only does he have a Leo in the sun placement, which is a great placement to have sun in, but he had a very great talent of singing, and that really did help him a lot in regards to his attention and the success he's garnered. He's someone who is usually very warm and very affectionate. He's someone who has a lot of strength, and he is someone who's going to make sure he works as hard as he needs to. In order for him to get what he wants, he's very honest, and he wants others to respect him, and he likes to be respectful of others as well, and he's going to make sure he always pursued his goals. So that's something that really describes him. Up next would be his moon in Gemini, and with this placement he's known for his sense of humor and entertainment. So he was great at entertaining a crowd, and he was great at being funny as well with the moon placement in Gemini. He's someone who loves to intellectualize his emotions instead of feeling them. He's someone who tends to be very optimistic regardless of what's happening in front of him. He was optimistic, very much curious. He's very quick-witted in regards to his speech. He's very great at communicating. He can be unorganized at times, but he is someone who's very impressionable. He's someone who loves to have a close social circle and is always ready to be on the move. He's ready for the next challenge, and he loves to do things that are different and very fun. He's someone who always is very much charming and forever doing things that are very social and friendly. Up next would be his Mercury in Leo, and it's great for him to have his Mercury and his Sun placement in the same sign, which is Leo. So he was able to speak in a way that was understanding to others and himself. He's someone who has a voice that is of an authoritarian manner, but he knows how to draw a crowd that is very incredible and has an incredible flair with doing that. He's someone who's very dynamic with his voice. He's usually the person who loves giving speeches and loves to hear his own voice as well. He's always colorful, whether he's happy or sad. He's very uplifting. He's very motivating. He can be very enthusiastic, very strong in regards to his voice, very lively. He likes to speak and he loves to exaggerate things sometimes. He's very great at building his confidence, and he loves positive feelings. Up next would be his Venus in Cancer, and with this placement he's someone who's very nurturing, very protective. He's very self-protective, very cautious, and very much has his emotional ups and downs due to his sensitivity in relationships. He's someone who is very committed and predictable in a relationship and wants that for his partner as well. He craves stability and security, and he loves comfort and love. He loves to show love by taking care of his partner's needs. He loves to pay attention to his partner's feelings and words. He can do things like the silent treatment when upset, but he's someone who loves sentimental gestures. He's very patient, very loving, and very dependable. He's very intuitive and can read his partner. He's very creative in relationships, very big-hearted in relationships, and he's going to make sure that his partner is loved and taken care of, and they just have so much fun. So this is a great placement. Up next would be his Mars in Taurus. And with this placement, these people tend to be very powerful in regards to how they feel things. They are also the types of people who have good health, and they love to talk about that. He has a lot of energy distribution skills, and he's someone who's very patient, very determined, and very enduring when it comes to building stability. He's someone who has a practical mind, which really helps in making decisions. He's very purposeful. And he's someone who loves to build something that they can see in the future as being stable, and he did that with his music. He loves to achieve and maintain wealth and abundance. He's someone who also loves to be very much decisive, so he knows what he's doing and he's going to make the best decision for himself. He can be very practical too, and he knows how to really bring things into perspective for everyone. Next up would have been his Jupiter in Aquarius, and with this placement, he's someone who brings great fortune through his inventive thought process. One of the things Tony Bennett was great at is making music, but he was also great at singing other people's music like Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, so that was one way of him also making music, is by using other people's music in order for him to really bring a different side or a different perspective or a different tone to the song. He's someone who is very popular. This is a fame placement, and he was very popular. He was able to, even in this generation, collaborate with artists who, like Lady Gaga, who is in a different generation than him, but they were able to come together and make music. And that's something that Tony Bennett was really great at, was being able to be open-minded and learning new things. Up next would be his lovely Saturn in Scorpio. And with this lovely placement, he's someone who has a strong will of meeting fierce focus. He's someone who's very persistent. He has endurance. He's someone who's going to make sure he pursues all of his goals. He's someone who's also the most powerful of the zodiac signs, but can be secretive as well with this placement. And now that I think about it, Tony Bennett throughout his life, he really didn't talk about a lot of his business, so we really mostly focused on his music instead of his family life or his personal life. So this really does describe him in the best way. He's someone who tends to release emotional energies and can be very reluctant sometimes, but this is partly due to his fear of what horrible calamity might occur should they be released. He's someone who can be complicated in regards to his emotions, but knowing that his emotions are valid is something that's very important. Up next would be his Uranus in Pisces. And with this lovely placement, he tended to be boundless in his imagination and allows him to see things in a different light and find unique situations or unique solutions for any situation. This is actually a very interesting placement because Uranus is basically the planet of innovation, doing new things. That's why it's ruled by Aquarius, because they're innovative. They're the types of people who are the fighters, who make sure things happen in society. So they are the types of people, Uranus and Pisces, to find solutions through being imaginative. So they'll sit and just think about it, and usually those ideas do come up in the best way, and they're able to create great ideas for society in order for them to really prosper and in order for other generations to prosper. Up next would be his Neptune in Leo. So this is his third Leo placement, even though it's personal planets, but it's one of his close planets. So he has a Leo stellium, so he really did give off a lot of Leo energy, and this really did help him a lot in his success. With this placement, he is someone who inspires others with his innate charisma and infectious zest of life, and he was someone who was very charismatic And we do hear this with people who have collaborated with him, even who were much younger than him or same age. That's something that he was great at doing, is giving a zest for life, an infectious zest for life that really benefited him and others. He's someone who idealizes behavior that tends to not be individualistic, but knowing that being himself is a great goal and self-expression is very much important. Up next would be his Pluto in Cancer, and he's been able to gain this placement because he is someone who is highly intuitive and can read through a situation very closely and very curiously. He's someone who was born between 1914 and 1939. So this generation, they tend to be people who are very much intellectual in regards to emotions or reading things, reading vibes. And that's something that is really beneficial for them because they're able to give advice based off of how they feel, and they usually give the best advice and they're usually right. They're the types of people who, they are older generation who have a lot of wisdom that they love to give to younger generations, and it's very much beneficial for them and very much great for them as well. So this is a very great and beneficial placement for him and anyone who had it. Up next would be his North Node in Cancer, and with this placement, he's someone who will had to have develop these attributes in order for him to uncover these hidden gifts and talents. For example, noticing and validating his own feelings as well as others' feelings, being empathetic, being very nurturing and supporting of others, building one's own foundation and security, honest disclosure of feelings and insecurities, having humility, accepting others' fluctuating moods without any judgment, staying centered in his own feelings. He will also need to nurture himself, connecting to his emotions and not repressing them like the other side, which is the South Node of Capricorn, identifying with the child part of him and not the adult part, which is the North Node in Capricorn, letting go of the need of control and achievement and still be beneath himself and above others. Up next would be his Chiron in Taurus, and with this placement, he may have had the wound of not really feeling valuable or lacking something in his life, whether it's wealth, whether it's a value system, or whether it's an issue in the past life. People with this placement tend to have lacked something in their childhood, so they overcompensate for that in their adulthood, whether it's buying a lot of things, whether it's overindulging in different things like food, like buying clothes, buying jewelry, buying things that they lacked in childhood. So knowing that they are enough, and first things first, not depriving themselves of anything they want, but making sure they don't do it overboard and know that they are worth buying everything that they want, but in a way that will not break their budget or break their bank whatsoever. So this is an interesting placement. Up next would be his Ascendant/Rising in Libra. And with this placement, he's someone who's very much gonna be charismatic, very funny and pleasant to be around. He always wants to make things right around them and make sure everything's balanced around him. He's also someone who is very pleasant and charismatic. They love to preserve the peace and to avoid conflict. He dislikes being alone. He loves to be in fashion. He loves to be self-aware in his looks. He's someone who is very persuasive and makes a good mediator. He has a tendency to maybe try his best to keep an image of being the nice guy. He's someone who appears friendly but can be detached sometimes. He's someone who's very romantic and gracious. He is someone who had so many friends, and he was very much polite. So this is a great way to describe Tony. And last but not least would be his midheaven in Cancer. And this is a very common trait or a common placement that I see in a lot of celebrities, Cancer midheaven. They tend to be very intuitive in regards to their image, in regards to their career. They're very nurturing people. They are very organized, they're very trustworthy and caring. They have a great way of cultivating their talents. They are sensitive to other people's feelings and they love to go with the flow. Also with this placement, they tend to always want to be in a career that shows them in a very beautiful light of being a very much people's princess or prince. They have like this siren energy in regards to their public image. They're very mystical, magical. They tend to be very private but very public at the same time, and they tend to have wisdom for many lifetimes. So this really does describe Tony. Thank you guys so much for watching my video today in regards to Tony Bennett's natal chart. Please let me know down below what your favorite song of his was, and did you learn more about him through this analysis? And please let me know what his favorite trait of his is. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell, and please make sure you hit that like button and that share button so you can share this video with everyone you know. Last but not least, please make sure you're following me on all of my social media accounts, from Abbie Dagrin under Facebook to podcasts, Gaio Beauty under SD Store to Instagram, and my PayPal that is linked down below. I love you all. Please stay safe and healthy, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, lovelies.